Hey girl, hey. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to see you, sis. I have missed you. Let me give you some love. Hello, hello, hello. I have been on my grind, and I know you've been on yours too. So what you been up to? Tell me all about it. You're gonna have to tell me about it. I want to hear about it all in the chat. I missed you so much, but we back. She back. So, this is the episode that you did not know that you needed. And I had to come here and preface it for you because it's all about loving those that you love well. It's called Because You Love Them. Because you love them, you're going to take care of them. Because you love them, you are going to leave and prepare a lifelong legacy for them. Because you love them, you are going to plan for them and prepare for them and take care of them, whether you're here or not. Did you know, girl, listen, come here. Did you know? Did you know that you can take care of people after you're gone? Did you know that your presence is not required? Your physical presence is not required to take care of your loved ones. Like you can love them well while you are resting and going on to glory, living in your mansion in the pearly gates, walking on the streets of gold with Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I don't mean that to make light of any situation. I don't mean that to even be funny. I am so serious. Like, I probably am the most serious that I've ever been because this conversation is necessary and it's vital and it's so important to our community. And it is time that we redefined how we love each other beyond the flowers, beyond the candy, beyond the gift giving, beyond the date nights. It is time for us to love each other by preparing for um, the end of our lives, by planning, by preparing wills, by having our affairs in order, by giving our loved ones the gift of being able to grieve freely, by not having to be bogged down with how am I going to pay for this funeral? How am I going to, having to do all of this planning and running around, after you're gone? I believe in my heart that the epidemic that we're dealing with now in our generation is unresolved grief. And the unresolved grief is a result of failure to plan and failure to prepare. And so this is a conversation. It's a tough topic, but it's a necessary one. So because I love you, I have brought in an expert, Dr. Towanda Cotton. I have brought in an end of life expert. She calls her course, she calls it Dying Well. And she educates people on end of life preparedness and planning. And she is all the things. She is a chaplain. She is, she's walked through this herself. She knows all about the paperwork. She knows the logistics. She knows all about the ins and outs of what you need to have to set your loved ones up for success so that when you are gone, literally, even when you get sick, your wishes are known, your requests are known. There's no fighting, there's no bickering, there's no chaos. Literally, all your loved ones have to do is grieve and remember all of the beautiful memories that you've had that they made with you and get the closure that they need, because that's what that time is for. That's what the funeral is for. is a designated time for closure, for peace, for clarity, to say everything that they needed to say, to complete whatever it is that was incomplete. Like, these moments are for connection, not disconnection. These moments are for clarity, not chaos and confusion. These moments are for rest and peace and rejuvenation and healing, not pain and suffering and exhaustion and, incapacitation. Some people are so inundated with details and the weight of trying to ensure that their loved one is remembered well and honored, with resources that they don't have, that they're not even able to give themselves permission to grieve, to rest, to honor their loved ones. Some people don't grieve at all. They don't even have the opportunity to grieve. There is no rest for them because there was no planning prior to. And so now they're trying to do it in the midst of their grief, in the midst of their sorrow. And that's just not how it was supposed to be. So, but it's not our fault. Some of this we haven't been taught. Some of this we just don't know what we don't know. But you won't have this excuse anymore after this episode. So I brought in this valuable resource for you. And I do pray and hope that you take advantage of it, because there are people out here that can help you, that can teach you, that can help you understand everything from your rights to advocate from your loved one in the hospital, your rights and resources available to them so that they can rest in peace, so that they don't have to suffer, all the way down to the legalities and the logistics of your will and how you want things done in your final moments and what you want done with your things. These are decisions that you can make now so that your loved ones aren't fighting and bickering and trying to make them later. Too many families are destroyed over decisions that weren't made when generations before us were alive. Too many. And we've seen it happen time and time again. But enough is enough. And the buck can stop here. And we can learn, and we can know better, and we can do better. So I do pray that this episode, this knowledge, ignites a generation of doers and planners, and that it redefines how we love each other, and that we will build and begin to craft a generation that loves by planning, that loves through preparation, and that loves through making decisions so that their loved ones don't have to, and that loves by giving their loved ones the gift and the freedom of grieving freely, because all decisions are made and all is and all preparations are in place, financially, logistically, legally. Everything's in order. There's no greater gift than that. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope this helps you. And please take this, because you love your children, because you love your spouse, and because you love whomever it is that you love the most, because you love them. Watch this episode. Make these arrangements. Take the time and prepare and do these things now, and give them the greatest gift that you'll ever give them. Set them up for success. Set them up for peace. Set them up to grieve. Set them up for healing. set them up for mental, physical, and emotional health while you're here and even after you're gone. All right. This one's from my heart to yours. With love, Gwen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to With Love, Gwen. I am thrilled about today's conversation because it is necessary. Today is the thing that you never knew that you needed, okay? And it is so important for our community to have these conversations. And I am here with Miss Towanda today, or I should say Dr. Towanda.
However you want to say it.
Okay. So let me introduce to you today's Shiro. She has her doctorate in pastoral counseling and leadership. She has a master's degree in marriage and family counseling, and she has a BA in service administration and human resource management. She is an end-of-life consultant, a speaker and educator, an ordained evangelist. You go, girl.
I am.
You go, girl. I'm not even done. She is a certified clinical chaplain and an author. Yes, Miss Towanda. So I am so grateful that you are here because I just know you are going to help us today. So I asked Miss Towanda, ladies, about a pivotal or defining moment. And she said that she realized that professional counseling and resources were lacking in churches and throughout life to inform communities about death preparedness. She said she noticed that there was a lack of understanding and that there was fear and a lot of myths about death. There was a lot of emotions around death, family disconnects, and dysfunctions. And she said the final catalyst for her was caring for her parents.
Yes.
And dealing with this in her own life when she had to experience their deaths and the dysfunction throughout other families as a result of her vocation as a staff chaplain at a #1 trauma center. So you are a chaplain.
I am
at the trauma center.
I am.
Tell us about what that entails.
Well, as chaplains, we take care of all our patients as well as our staff. So that is pastoral counselors, that's spiritual support, that is where we may do weddings, we do funerals, we do baby dedications.
Okay.
So it's being somewhat of a clergy support within the walls of a medical facility that sometimes we even do there in our local churches.
Wow. Okay. So why is clergy support needed within the walls of the medical facility?
Because you can't separate a person from their faith. And even times of life when that happens, faith comes to the forefront. And you need to address that because a person is a spiritual being also.
Yeah.
And that's why it's vital during that time, as well as the family.
And what are some of the ways that you have supported? Let's talk about supporting the patient and then supporting the family. Or is that something that you even separate? You're going to have to educate me. I'm here to learn from you 100%.
We can separate the patient.
Okay.
Like say when we are rounding or if there's a consult or a screen that's placed in our area or expertise. One thing about me is I work on call, so I'm all over the hospital where it's the children, the NICU, palliative care. It doesn't matter. I am able to care for our patients and as well as our staff in any department. The difference is that sometimes the patient wants to talk.
Yeah.
And whether it's maybe some regrets, a lot of times they're very fearful.
Yeah.
There's times where if God was real, why am I in this predicament? the loss of limb,
Yeah.
going through depression. There may be times where the person is dying,
Yeah.
and you're talking about family involvement. Just seeing the different emotions
Yeah. Yeah.
that comes out of families, and people are like, well, I know that this person's going to die, and they say, oh, I can handle it. You never know what's going to come to the forefront once the person dies, even if the person had a chronic illness for some times. Because when death is final, lots of emotion comes up to the surface. And so you're handling that, and then we have to deal with whether the event may be something that's chronic, acute, or traumatic. And so that's different levels of care in a sort, where the rush of emotions all over the place.
Yeah.
Depending on if there's a loved one in the patient's room, if the
Yeah.
doctors have to call a code blue,
Yeah.
code stroke, or if the vitals drop, what takes place within that, how much of that they see. So it depends on actually what's going on,
Yeah.
whether or
Yeah.
not we care for the patient or the family or both.
Or both. Yeah. Let's bring it to maybe more of like a everyday application, because I know a lot of the ladies listen to this podcast, or some of them are caregivers.
Okay.
Let's talk about I don't even know what to call it. I don't have proper language for it, but
Okay.
caregiving takes a lot out of an individual. It's kind of like you love, it's one of those things that until you're in it, you don't know
Right.
the cost of caregiving.
You don't.
I think that's the only way I can word it.
Yeah.
And I have heard, the stories from women that are caregiving, and they wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
But it's just costing them everything. And I mean financially, physically, socially.
Yes.
I mean, and I know that talk to us about that. And I know you have some unique insights on caregiving and how to know when it's time to perhaps consider other options and all of that. Help us with that. Help us, please.
So I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, that caregiving of a loved one is the hardest job that you will ever do.
Yeah.
There's reasons behind that, because you are emotionally and then you're physically tied to that person and that space of life, whether it's short term or long term.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times transference happens during that time. And so you're not only caring for that person, but when they feel bad, it causes you
that's the transference.
Emotion. Yeah, because as a caregiver for both my parents, right? Or my mama will feel bad, or let's take it, my mother. And because she was on dialysis, she was on peritoneal dialysis at the home when the machine was not working right.
Oh man. Yeah.
Or her body began to hurt because she was in a position where she could not dialyze correctly without, going through the whole treatment, having to help turn her, having to help make sure she gets to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And all of that took place throughout the night, where sometimes because of what was going on in her physical body during dialysis, it kept her up at night.
Yeah.
So when she's up at night, guess who else is up at night?
Right.
Right.
You are.
Even her moaning.
Oh man.
And her groaning.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't live in a huge house. I got upstairs, and my room is a mile down the corner.
Yeah.
But it's there where I heard her. I heard her praying. I heard her wanting to go ahead and die. So it takes that type of toll own a loved one that's caring for someone close, and that could be a spouse.
Right.
Whether, there's been research done, particular men for some reason, where they were taking care of their wives, or to vice versa. Normally, those type of arrangements, that caregiver only lives 4 to 6 to 8 years afterwards because of the
Wow.
trauma that has been endured in their body. Because when you love, you take on what they're going through because you want to make it better,
Yeah.
but not realizing what you're doing to yourself.
My goodness.
Particularly if there's already stressors, financial stressors, no one else here to help me, to take care of you. And it breaks down the body emotionally, right? And also physically.
Wow.
And then there is care, how the mortgage is going to get paid if the mortgage is not paid. If there's children, how are they going to get back and forth to school?
Wow.
I mean, all sorts of things, and different family has different family dynamics so far as who's in the household. I live in Pennsylvania, but my main family live in North Carolina.
Yeah.
All those types of things play in that scenario of care for that individual.
Right. Right. That's fantastic. And so these are things that we aren't necessarily considering. So are there options for caregivers?
There are options for caregivers, and I implore particularly people at my age that's going into older age, I'm mid-age now, to talk with your children. And coming from a large family, it was 10 siblings. So
10.
I ensure them that my adult children knows what I want if something happens to me, because I don't want the strife. We have a very close family.
Yeah.
And I don't want any strife coming in that relationship between my children's and my siblings. This is what I wanted. And also, a couple of my siblings know exactly what I want.
Okay.
So they're there to help support my children if anything will happen to me.
So you have the supports in place.
I have the supports in place, and that has been for a number of years now. That's even before I got the gray hair and everything.
Yeah.
Because death doesn't have an age.
Yeah. Oh,
it doesn't have a color.
That's so
and
good.
It doesn't have a timing. You don't know.
You don't. And that's why this conversation is so important, because I don't necessarily think, maybe particularly, and you can tell me because you're expert in this area, necessarily for my age. I'm 43, but some of maybe I believe it's about developmentally between 15 and maybe 25, they feel like they're invincible.
Yeah.
And for you to say, death doesn't have an age, and so I wanted to get into the dying well is what you teach.
Right. Spiritual and natural assessments of dying well.
And you're expert in the planning and preparedness for death and dying.
Yeah.
And so I just really want to help our community understand how important it is, and also how detrimental it is when you're not prepared.
Yeah.
Because we've seen, respectfully, the GoFundMe pages and like we talked about earlier, the dysfunction that's happening as a result of unpreparedness. So just talk to us about that and teach us, what does our community need to know?
Okay, let me say this first. One of my greatest kudos to my adult son and his wife was that
they're my homies, by the way. Shout out to my homies.
Was that, as I prepare my last events with them, I was like, okay, well, I'm ready for yours. I need to know what's going to take place and what you want me to do, what you need me to do. And they was like, for what? We're talking maybe about 8 to 10 years ago. We're young. I'm like, what does that mean? You're young.
Great
I
question.
seen whole families die.
Wow.
I seen whole families come into the trauma bay. Young, old, it doesn't make a difference. And that's constant. It doesn't stop, because being that #1 trauma center, we work with, we care for 29 counties, surrounding counties.
Wow.
And I-95, we go up so many miles.
Right.
You know, we have the helicopters coming in and going out, right? So they was like, well, we don't. I said, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. If something will happen to you, what would you want for your children? They're my grandkids, so I'm gonna make sure.
Right.
But what do you want for them? And so a little while later, guess what? They said, we're ready. So they got their planning in place. I was like, thank you so very much.
That's nice.
So we don't want to see our children necessarily go before us, but I work with people all the time that the children die young.
Man.
And this is a constant thing. This is just normal. And it should not be normal. But during today's time and all what's going on, it's just a normal way of life.
Wow. Wow. No, that's important. I mean, I just had to sit with that for a minute because it's very true. Like, this is normalized now.
Right.
Wow.
If I had a nickel for everybody who has said they did never think this would happen to me. But it's happening. Now, what are you going to do with it? Because you still have to live through it and get to the other side.
Wow. Yeah.
And so when you're prepared, it helps take care or lessen the complexity of the burden that has to happen. I have insurances.
Okay.
Because I love my children.
Yeah.
That is needed to help take care of whatever I have, whether they need to finish paying out the house, or I have a number of insurance policies that will take care of them, and my job will also take care of them.
Nice. Okay.
And so I have to think about that. Even my employment, I think about the benefits as well as the salary.
Okay, y'all taking notes?
So
y'all need to take notes. She is teaching
important.
us. This is why I brought her here for you.
And you still need to go ahead and get your insurances. Okay. I have long-term, short-term insurance.
Okay. So long-term, short-term. What is that?
So short-term disability.
Got it. Okay.
Will help take care of any medical needs I may have. And also it's a way of payment. So if I'm not working, I have payment coming in still. And long-term is the same thing, but when short-term's in, the long-term will pick up.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And so you still have the money and whatnot coming in.
Okay. Right? Okay. So insurance. Got it.
So you got to have the right type of
it. You need the insurance.
And you need that on your job. Your job should hopefully carry that for you. Short-term, long-term disability. Okay. That's important. And cancer insurance. Okay. So that's going to be very important, especially with families that have a history of cancer in the family, because a lot of times those cancers don't present themselves into midlife or a little older in age.
See, that's what both of my parents had colon cancer. And I'm glad you said that, because when it comes to, these things are being deducted out of our paycheck.
That's right.
So we making these tough decisions like, do I really need this?
Yes,
and it's like, yes, you do. Now y'all heard it.
Yes, you need it.
All right. Need it. She done told us. She mama today. She is telling us like we're her own kids, okay? And we appreciate it.
Okay. And so other than that, there is mortgage insurance where we'll take care of the home.
Okay.
And also auto insurance that will take care of finish paying off the vehicles.
Didn't even know that.
Right.
Okay.
So those things you can invest in, and so it'll be additional burden taken off your children.
Okay.
Right now, my kids know all of my passwords. That's to my telephone.
Okay.
And that is through my computers, everything. They have my passwords too.
Okay.
They will have a a ledger of all the bills that I presently have.
Yes, that is
and
good.
what needs to be paid off.
Okay.
Those that are attached with some type of life insurance policy. So if I die, they'll automatically be taken care of. So they don't have to worry about certain things. All I want my kids to do and my grandchildren to do is to go through the process of grief.
Wow.
And that's it. I don't want them having to worry about anything. And I do this because I love them.
Oh my gosh. I just have to say this again. You said all I want my kids to do when I pass is grieve. You don't want them worrying about bills.
I do not.
We didn't get to paying for the funeral, but I'm sure you got that covered too.
Oh yeah.
But that's powerful.
Yeah, I don't want them. And so far as you spoke about funeral, there is a pre-need that an individual can do. Mm-hmm. And I had that both for my mother and my father. So the funeral, everything was paid for other than the spread on the coffin. My mother was very specific. Matter of fact, when it was time to do her pre-need, we went to the funeral home together. And for my mom to actually speak about her own death. Yeah. With clarity, what she wanted and what she did not want. It amazed me because a lot of times when mom or dad is trying to tell the kids about their demise of what they want or don't want, children don't want to hear that. Oh, please talk about that. But you need to hear that because that's important. They are trying to share something with you that's important to you that will happen. And they do it because they love you and they want you prepared.
And it's important to them.
It's very important.
It matters to them. And a lot of children do silence their parents when they try to talk about that.
They will shut them down because they don't want to think about that because sometimes they have a false narrative of what death is. Ooh, but if you live, you're going to die.
Talk about it. That's good.
You're going to die. It's a part of living. You know,
that's a nice reframe. I never thought about it. Like death is a part of living.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, I have some people that may want to challenge me. Well, Jesus is going to come, but your natural body is still going to die because flesh and bone will not inherit heaven. So it's a process of this natural body shedding. Yeah. That's what death is.
Man, that's good. And I'm sitting here thinking, as a grief counselor, I'm thinking that I hear caregivers and a lot of women when I'm listening to them, a lot of them weren't able to grieve because it was a hustle and bustle of how I'm gonna pay for the funeral, how I'm gonna deal with, it's the dysfunction of the family. I'm giving you my top 3, what I'm hearing in my office, the dysfunction of the family, the management of the aftermath of the loss, the bills, the financial aftermath of the loss, and then just trying to keep up, just trying to keep everything together afterwards, so they don't get to a place of grieving.
Anything that was a conflict before the person's death is going to explode after the person's death.
Oh, that's wow. That's strong.
And so as a family unit, that's what you need to be, a family unit, and know how to maturely to deal with conflict in the family without accusing another party. A lot of that is taught growing up as children. Because we had a tight-knitted family. And the way my mother and her siblings grew up, they taught that to us. Because my mom it was 13 of them. And today they are still close. I mean, they meet at one another's home for Sunday dinner.
Love that.
Yeah, and then the children, you learn that behavior for the ones that is before you, to lead that example for you. And we do the very same thing now. You know, you're taught to love your siblings. And, you know, this is not a good thing, but my father said, if you get into a fight, you better jump in and help them. And if you don't, I'm going to get you.
That's right.
And we dealt with things in the house.
Yeah.
right? We dealt with things in the home. And so, but we were a united front
Ugh, that
out
united front. Yeah.
outside the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's so important, even now as you get older, I'm like, I'm calling my brother because I just want to hear
Yeah.
his voice,
Oh,
because I haven't seen him in a
yeah.
week. And so those things carry over even as you get older, and they'll become more vital and
Mm-hmm.
more important to you. You want to know your siblings and their families are
Yeah.
doing okay. Hey, what about, has she finished college yet? Or
Yeah.
her, she had a broken leg. How's she doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and when you have that type of relationship and when you foster,
Mm.
because it's work, you have to foster
Yeah.
relationships. Relationships just do not happen because they're your sister or they're your brother or they're your parents.
That's really good.
You have to foster those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, when those times come in life where an event may happen, mom or dad take a
Mm-hmm.
fall,
Mm-hmm.
or sister and brother may take a fall or whatever, and it doesn't, they have spouses,
Yeah.
but we're coming in to help support that spouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we recognize our pecking order.
Ooh, talk
We
about
helping
that.
the spouse,
Mm,
not our sibling per se, but we're doing what that spouse need for us to do to support him or to support her
mm.
in the life of our family.
That is strong. That's so good. Two things that really stood out, especially, I want to say post-COVID, but it might even been a problem pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But making time for relationships. I feel like, especially, I want to say like my generation, we struggle with that because we're so quote unquote busy. But you're right. When you start thinking about, this end of life stuff and how death has no age, you got to make time for people.
You have to make time for people, and I think the culture um,
Mm-hmm.
has cons and
Yeah.
pros,
Yeah.
but so far as it's nothing like the human touch.
Yes. Yeah.
Coming up as a young child, you hear the older people say, I just want to look in your
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
They did two
Yes,
minutes. They just
ma'am.
want to see you, just look in
Lay
your
eyes on you.
eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to see how you're doing because you can tell me anything over the
Oh,
telephone.
that's very true. That's very true. And I remember my father did that. Like,
Yeah,
that's so
I need
true.
to come see you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so we have to make time in our lives for that.
Yeah.
If the person is important, because whatever that's important to you,
Mm,
guess what? You're going to make time for. If that person or that thing or whatever else it may be,
that's true.
if it's not important to you, you won't make time for it.
Mm,
So your
that's true.
actions is going to speak a lot louder than your words over the telephone or
Mm-hmm.
through a text.
I'm getting convicted. It's true. It's true. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do better. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta do better because it's so true. Um, what do you think about another thing I hear a lot in my office is the division of assets, like people fighting over. Is there a way to prevent that
Yeah,
and as you
yeah.
prepare?
There are some things that I have already given away because I
Ah,
didn't use it. And
yeah.
it was important to me at one point in my life, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't, and I was not using it. It was just sitting there, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, I can get rid of this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Most of my things, when we're talking about assets, where there's things that's back in my barn,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just got in storage,
Mm-hmm.
or things within the home. My
Mm-hmm.
kids said, no, we don't want this. I traveled younger when I was younger, and I
Mm-hmm.
happened to live in Japan, Okinawa,
Mm-hmm.
for a span of time, and they have some of the most exquisite um, china
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and different collection of the
Oh
crystals
yeah.
and silverware, and so I went and I purchased a whole 12-piece set
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
everything, even the gravy bowls and
Oh,
all.
nice.
And I never used it. And I
Mm,
realized over 25 years, it was just sitting up in the china
yeah.
cabinet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not even using this. I said, and I wanted to give it away, but my kids were like, I told my kids first, this is
Yeah.
what I this is what I'm looking at, and I really don't want it.
Yeah.
And my kids said, oh no, we don't want it either. And then maybe a half hour or so later, my kids had went on eBay, was telling me how much I can sell each piece for.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, no, I want to give it. I want to sow it in the life of someone that's going to be able to use it and that can value it in their own lives.
Yeah.
And so I sat on that for a while until I felt like, okay, this is the husband and wife I'm going to give this to.
Nice.
And once they, it was a china cabinet, it was everything. It was just a set. And they was like, it fits in their dining room and when they have company, because they host a lot of different events.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So it just, and so when they told me how everything just fit and flow together for them, and they getting all these, oh, this is so nice, and compliments, and it just did something to me, you know, other than trying to sell it on eBay. I didn't want to do that because it was more precious to me than trying to sell it.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are some things I won't have to worry about because it'll
just
go on your sale. And I understand that, and that is fine. I remember before I completed my first will, my last will and testament, and I told my children, I do not want to be, I don't want the body to be buried. I didn't want my body to be buried. Just cremate it because it'll save money and just give it to my grandkids, right? Give that portion of it to my, I don't want it. And so they was like, no, we can't burn you out. I said, it won't be me. It'll just be the remains.
Right.
And it was just the thoughts, and they kept saying, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And I would not sign my will.
Oh, goodness.
I would not. But I'm going to tell you what happened. I was impressed one day, and I know this by the Holy Spirit, that he was like, you're trying to control them from the grave.
Ooh.
He said that they don't have to live with this. You don't have to live with that decision. They will have to live with that decision.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so even through the process, God will be right there for you, giving you wisdom and how to do and what to do,
That's
whatnot.
good.
I think my main point is to have an inheritance, to leave an inheritance for my children, and to make it as easy for them once that time in my life comes, that they don't have to worry. And if they need to have money for a caregiver to help, then that money will be there for them. So,
it's kind of about like just legacy for you.
It's always about legacy for me. But the discord and all the other things can be lessened. Within any family. You're gonna sometimes always have what sometimes people call black sheeps in the family. But those type of individuals, in a negative sense, they're in all our families. They're somewhere in all our families. But you still have to navigate what you want the end to be and how you see it. And the most important things to me are my children and even my grandkids that I may not even see on this side of heaven, making sure, because they were my responsibility. They didn't ask to be here. They're my responsibility, whether they're 2 years old or 92. They're my children.
Oh, I love that mindset towards your family. Wow. So,
and I'm not the helicopter mom, but I make sure that they're okay.
I love that. That's beautiful. That truly is beautiful. You mentioned the will. You mentioned burial versus cremation. Those are just 3 things that I wanted you to kind of touch on, because I feel like these are things that our community might not have a lot of awareness about. Of course, they seem obvious, but I don't know how many of us actually have a will, or where do you go? How do you get one? What do you do? Like, just give us some like practical applications.
Okay. Actually, you can actually construct your own will.
Because it
But
seems complicated, like it
it's a
involves
legal
lawyers.
documentation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you will need to have it notarized.
Okay.
And depends on the assets that you have. I
Okay.
advise everyone to seek out a lawyer, an attorney,
Okay.
and to make sure everything goes smoothly. And some things don't have to go through court probate.
Okay.
It can directly goes to the beneficiaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get ready to talk about some of those forms and things that we really do need to know. And so there is advanced care directives.
Uh-huh.
And advanced care directives will let your loved one knows what you want, what you don't want,
Okay.
who's going to be maybe the healthcare power of attorney, whether or not I want to be hydrated, or if there's food involved, so far as a pick line or all those type things, if I'm not able to speak for myself.
Okay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But then there's a living will sometimes where you're incapacitated at some point, or whether it's mentally incapacitated or physically incapacitated. I have this person that I have chosen to speak on my behalf. And I have a contingency.
Okay.
So if anything happens to that person,
oh, that's good,
and they're not able to stand in for me, then it'll automatically go to the next person.
Okay. The contingency, because what happens if you don't have a contingency?
The state will make that. Well, I'm going to take that back. If you're married,
okay,
it'll go to the spouse.
Okay.
And that is whether or not you are living together as a husband and wife.
Oh, wow.
Let's get into, I'm sorry, I know we're jumping over everything.
You're good.
But there are times where I have seen a married person come in the hospital and they're with a significant other that is not their spouse. You don't have a say-so.
Oh my gosh.
Even at the funeral home, you will not have a say-so. I don't care if you've been together 25, 30 years. They're going to ask for the spouse and they're going to ask for the children, or if that's not applicable, they're going to start with the grandkids, because you're not legally or biologically related to that person.
That's what we needed to hear. Wow.
Right.
Okay. Wow.
And so that's going to be very important. You don't get to make those decisions unless the family gives you that authority.
Okay. Wow.
Now, I've seen times where a family has given that significant others that authority to make those decisions, but that's not every day. That's a very rare occurrence.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That's good to know. I'm glad you told us that.
That is very good. And let me just share this. I'm going to show you how important that is to update your information. I was working with a family. The mother was dying, had a number of children. The son and his wife, the biological son and then his wife, took care of mom. The son left the wife. The wife continued to take care of his mother. The mother had the insurance policy in the wife's name, her daughter-in-law. So everything went to the daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
So at the time of death, we, not necessarily me, but as a disciplinary team, had to call the wife to ask about the decision making, the insurance policy, but she granted that power back to the children. But she still kept the insurance policy.
Oh, that's complicated.
Yeah, but it's all legal. You have to look at the legality of it, and that's what the medical staff is going to do. That is what the funeral home is going to do.
Wow. Okay, so update your records. Get your will and have that contingency in place.
Because 1 year, there's so much that can happen within a year. You can get married, spouse can die, grandchildren are added. And one thing I did change on my And my will was blanket grandchildren.
Okay. Okay.
So there's other grandchildren to come, whatever I have presented to them to have.
Okay.
It'll be grandchildren and
Oh,
not particular two grandkids.
Because you have multiple children.
I have multiple children, but right now only two grandkids.
That makes sense.
But life continues to happen.
Yeah.
And chances are I'm going to have more than just two grandkids.
See, these are things we don't know.
Yeah.
This is why I brought her here. Oh, I'm so grateful for this information.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that people aren't teaching, in our community, and we just don't know. And it's like, what you don't know really can't hurt you.
It will cause an increased dysfunction in your family after you leave from here.
Yeah.
And what you're trying to do, because of love, you want to make sure that your children, grandkids, whoever else are taken care of at your demise.
Yeah.
And that is what you call love.
I love that. New definition for love.
It is. Because and then they're still journeying with you through that process.
Yeah, it's so true.
It doesn't end until it's in, because I won't die until I'm dead.
Right.
Until I'm dead.
Right.
But my children journey with me.
Yeah.
And I journey with them.
Right. What a great way to look at it all.
Yeah.
So help us understand. So I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, because I don't even know how I feel about it. So my parents were cremated. That was their wish. And again, because it was financially feasible. But then you brought this new concept into, letting it be what brings the family, peace. Because cremation, is there like some sort of stigma attached to it? Is it something that we need to just become comfortable with? Like, or is just the standardized, burial and casket, is that just all we know societally?
Well, no, it's not all we know, because different societies is different, and it's a cultural type tradition. Yeah. Because I can care less if they have a graveside funeral for me.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's what they want. But I'm making sure that they are financially able to do whatever
That's
they
the
want.
point.
Yeah.
To have the option.
Yes.
That makes sense. That's the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's the bigger picture. I'm going to make sure that they're financially able to do whatever they feel like they need to do to bring wholeness to them, and also to help them in their grieving process.
That makes sense, because I've seen people even bury the urn if that's what they choose to do.
Yeah, however, if you want to throw the remains out in the sea or go to the highest mountain, that's closure.
Yeah, that's true.
And each individual, each family is different.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so it's all about doing what brings you closure.
Doing what brings you closure, and a lot of times that is honoring the wishes of your loved one to bring that closure. I did what Auntie wanted me to do. I did what my husband wanted me to do, and so it'll help bring that closure. And it was strengthened, because I think sometimes people think because a person dies that you stop loving that person.
Oh no, yeah,
that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah. So, you said that there were some myths that you saw around death.
Yeah.
What do you think some of those myths were?
Some of those myths were that you'll live a long time.
Yeah.
That's not true. A lot of those myths had a lot to do with some of the funeral providers. Yeah, I'm looking at you. And the church itself. Preachers. God does not need another rose in his rose garden.
Please talk about it.
Do not need another choir member. Because we're lying. We're lying to people. We're lying to God. We're lying on God. We need to cut that out and deal with death as we see it even throughout the Word of God. And it prepares the family for a more healthier outlook on life. And death needs to be talked about in our churches, because, being a person of faith, grew up in the things of God, mother, pastor, grandma, I get it. But you're going to physically die one day. And we need to understand that. And we need to understand what it is. We need to understand what brain death is. It's so much of the science that we as people of faith, we throw out the bathwater, the baby, the soap, the cloth, and everything, instead of empowering people in our congregation and in our communities, because we don't understand it. We think faith is the everything. It is. But even Jesus had a doctor on his staff, his disciple. Even he had what? Tax collector, all sorts of entrepreneurs. And we need to understand the word of God and how to make it applicable and apply it to our lives. Because it's not just this fairy dust out in the air. Even faith is now that we live out every day. And we have to understand it. Understand that God is God even of the science, even though those of us that have clinical backgrounds, we are the hands and the feet of God in that clinical position. But God is still God, and we got to understand that. Even mental health, sometimes the church has shunned mental health. Yeah, he is the healer, but those providers also can be those hands and the feet of Jesus to bring about healing in that person's life. And we have to know and the resources that's out in the community that will help our congregations and our communities, and not shun it.
Thank you for that. That's powerful. That is powerful. I wanted to. Oh, you got me shook up. I was about to shout in here. I'm trying to keep my composure.
Well, it's true. And that was one of the reasons I really believe that God placed it on my heart. Like I said, I grew up in the things of God. I always been a church girl. So even when I was not doing what I needed to do, I was still going to church. You believe that? I was. But I knew there was something missing.
Yeah.
And our emotions are so important to God. They are so important to God. And he created us this way, but we have to understand it. Yes. And those that has applied themselves to further on education, disciplinary, in their lives, that they can help teach and educate. You need those people in your lives to help you navigate what we call life. Yep. And we need it in our churches. We need the pastor behind the pulpit, but the church is more than just a pastor. There's so many other gifts in that local church that were not being utilized to help our congregation spiritually and naturally. And this is one a part of my whole dissertation: spiritual and natural assessments of dying well. We got to live well, and so we can die well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's so good. I love that. And the last thing I really wanted to touch on was, as a community, oftentimes we don't know within the hospital what our, I want to say, rights are. So I guess the better question is, what do we need to know as far as hospital patients? Like, what questions should we be asking? I don't even know how to frame this question correctly, but oftentimes we just do what the doctors and the nurses tell us to do. What should we be doing? What should we be aware of?
We should be advocating.
There you go.
For our loved ones.
Okay.
And if the doctor say, well, there's no hope for this person, get a second opinion.
There you go.
You need to know what the doctor is saying. We need to know, one thing about the culture now, you can pull up any type of disease, any type of ailment, sickness, and see what it is, the dynamics of it. See what another name so far as the diagnosis is. The prognosis, this person chances are living 10 to 15 years later. You have to study what's going on in your loved one, okay? Another thing I say, be involved. You can call for a consult.
See, yeah, that's what we don't know.
You can call for a consult if your loved one is in the hospital going through challenges. What is going on? What do y'all see that I don't understand, or what I'm not seeing?
Okay.
What are the chances this happen or that? What medicines are you given? What does the medicine do? What is the pros and the cons to the medicine? If the person have to have surgery, what is the pros and the cons to the surgery, or the output of it, the results of it? Does that person really need to have surgery?
That's a big one.
Is there an alternative type treatment other than surgery? And so you need, physicians are very intelligent people. They're not God and they don't know everything. Medicine is always practice.
Yeah.
It's practicing. And so we do thank God for those individuals, but they don't know it all. And I think sometimes we give up our authority and our responsibility because the doctor said, and not taking on the responsibility and finding out what we need to do to advocate on the behalf of our loved one.
Yeah. And even as we are if we have to kind of put them in, assisted living or things of that nature, how do you know when it's time?
It depends on the course of treatment and where, if the body is responding or not responding. Okay. It depends on where the family have the right caregivers caring for the person at the home. Or it could be a limited time where it's short term, where the person go into the a skilled living facility or assisted living. So it's not that it's permanent. But then sometimes it is permanent.
Good.
And then sometimes it's where there's no more hope. There's nothing medically that could be done. Is it palliative care now? Or is it hospice now? Even then, you have a voice on behalf of your loved ones. So use it.
Yeah, that's good.
And you want to be very cordial to the medical staff.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that. Because we feel like if aggression and volume create progress. So please teach us
Anybody
about that.
know me? When I'm upset, I think I am very calm and cool and collected. That's when you just need to watch it with me. Face. Because internally I'm like, and so, but the thing is, it's just like that medical team, whether you're in your PCP, your primary care physician office, or you're in a hospital, nursing facility, or whatnot, you want to be cordial because they're caring for your loved one. They are there when you're not there. And I tell family members to be there different time of day. Don't go on the same time every day.
That's good.
Learn the people that are caring for your loved ones, and when it's Christmas, give them a little Christmas gift. I know when my father did a short-term stay, he was there, I think, maybe about a year and a half at the Veterans Home in Kinston. We knew who was caring for my daddy.
Right.
And we took care of those that was caring for my father because we wanted our father to have the best care. And they knew that, and they knew our faces. And it was so many of us that we came and go much. So we kept them on their P's and Q's too. So don't take that the other way around, because they knew we were going to be there and we were advocate for our father.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah. I didn't want to see certain things. I didn't want to smell certain things. And then now, okay, well, this is the same top he had on 2 days ago when I came to visit him. Well, we brought all these things, clothing items. Where is his clothes? Are they been laundered? Or
right. There you go.
Take care of your loved ones.
Love that. Very true. That is so good. Was there any final things that you wanted to share You have given us a wealth of
Yeah,
information.
You know what? I
I
just
could
feel
talk to
like
you
I
all day.
was just a little of everywhere, and it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Because it is just a lot. But life teaches us, and when we are taught, we don't need to forget, but we need to inform our children,
Yeah.
right? That they don't have to go through the same learning process, but they can learn because you have instructed them.
That's good.
And you only get through, or some things in life, you only know because you went through it. And sometimes those events in life, those experiences of life, cost you so very much.
Yeah.
And when they're that costly, you inform your children.
Yeah.
You teach your children, so they won't have to go through what you went through.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good.
So it'll prepare them not only in living, but in finances.
Yeah.
Right? And so all sorts of things, education, and all sorts of things. You want to, I have my youngest child is a daughter, and I tell her things. She said, "Mom, you just whatever." I said, "No, little girl, I want you to be better than me.
That's right.
I want you to have more. I want you to do more. I want you to see more. I want you to love more. I want you to live better than I lived."
Yeah.
That's what I want for you. And that's what we should want for all our children and our loved ones. We should be able to catapult them to higher heights.
Yeah.
Than what we had to sometimes struggle through the mud to lift them up and keep them lifted up. And it's all about legacy and my love for my family.
I love that. I just want to clap for you because you did so good. Oh, it was so good. And that is so true, because I heard recently this quote that life isn't the best teacher, it's the hardest teacher.
Life will kill you, people.
Oh my goodness.
Life will kill you dead as a doorknob. Oh. And it's not the best teacher.
Please.
Don't believe that.
People live by that.
Do not believe that.
It's not. Like, if you can learn from other people, this is literally the whole foundation. This is why I bring in, sheroes like yourself, because we can learn from each other. And why would we not? Why would we not?
And we should. And we should. And networking.
Yes.
And just loving on people. I have met some of the most interesting people in the grocery line.
Yeah.
Because you know what? No matter what color they are, what they look like, I would go up and start a conversation. Because people are just people. And you can never look into anyone's eyes that Christ did not die for.
Oh, that's good.
And so you share what's in you, what God has placed there, and that's Himself. And He's always reaching out to people.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. Well, thank you. You have saved a lot of us, and you have had a hard conversation with us, and I appreciate that.
It's a hard conversation, but I'll be back if you will invite me back, because I know that there were some things in your questions that I sort of skipped all over and whatnot. So we will hit those nuggets hopefully at another time.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Like, this is an ongoing conversation, and we need it. Like, I feel like I said, I'm passionate about this because our community needs it. We're not talking about it. And this is a conversation that needs to be continued. It needs to be, we've initiated it, and now it needs to keep going.
Yeah. And we also need to talk about finances during this time, and what Medicaid can do. We need to talk about Medicaid attorneys. We need to talk about Medicaid spin down. We need to talk about different types of program that's under the Medicaid that your loved one can hopefully with the spin down be income eligible to receive that services to help you live a better quality of life in home instead of going to an environment or a facility.
Yeah, see, you definitely got to come back.
Yes. And those are some things people don't know about.
Yeah.
And it takes them a long time to figure that out, and some never make it to that. And that's why we have so much trauma and sickness with caregivers.
Yes.
Been stressed.
Yes.
And strained
emotionally
and physically, trying to care for loved ones that they don't have the finances or even the knowledge or how to take care of themselves because they think human love is all they need.
That's so good. Yeah, and I've heard bringing in the nurses is so financially draining too.
That's
if you don't have
draining if you do not know what's available and what, so that is another topic for another session.
All right. Yes. Yes. It's so
because
necessary.
It's out there. It's out there.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to navigate the systems, the government, the different organizations to help.
Yes. Oh,
but
yes.
It's out there.
Thank you so much. And I will definitely have you back. Miss Towanda, oh, you have been such a blessing to us all. The knowledge that you have given us is incredible. It is invaluable. The work that you're doing is necessary. The work that you're doing, it might not be popular, but it is needed. It is the path that is less traveled, and you're paving the way. And I thank you for it. And so I wrote you this letter, and I want to make sure that I read it to you and then got it included in this episode because I'm grateful. I'm grateful. You are saving lives. So let me get into it. And this is from my heart to yours. Dear Towanda, Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." The work that you do is vital to our community. Taking your life and professional experience and packaging it in a way that is palatable and easy to understand is priceless. It creates a bridge that gives so many access to a host of resources that without you, they may have never known. Your mission is unique. Your message speaks to areas that society has not equipped us to handle. Instead, we've often been given the wrong tools or no tools at all and left to cope the best we can, many times in unhealthy ways. Long story short, you're saving lives, breaking generational curses, rewriting inaccurate historical rhetoric that has become a barrier to growth mentally, spiritually, and emotionally for generations. You are equipping us to equip our children, and in doing so, you are changing the next generation. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your bravery, your tenacity, your resilience, your creativity, and your boldness. We are all so much better because of it. Thank you for taking the time to leave the 99 and come back for the one. You truly are making a difference. You've paved the way and cleared the path for many. For that, we honor you and we are grateful. From my heart to yours, with love, Gwen. We thank you.